Man, what's up? What's up, everybody? Man, welcome back to the Mental Wellness Live. Man, I'm sorry for missing out on yesterday. So yesterday, I normally do these. I like to do these on Mondays because that's my loose days. But to be honest, I was troubleshooting yesterday, and if you follow me on LinkedIn, you probably saw that I was testing out some things because look guys, I'm trying to get back on my streaming. I'm trying to reach the audience that I need to, and YouTube was getting everything. So if you missed the previous Mental Wellness Live, then go on YouTube, catch all the replays. Everything should be uploaded there for the last 2 weeks. I think I took off November, and so now I'm trying to be consistent. And so here we are back again with the Mental Wellness Live. So first of all, how's everybody doing? Hope y'all are having a phenomenal December, even though here in Memphis it's cold. It's cold. If you ain't in your California or your Floridas or wherever hot regions, you probably feeling my pain too with the cold, right? But it's still been good. For some of us, it might have been very productive. But that's not what we're talking about today. We talked about 2 weeks ago, basically how to close out, how to have a strong December mentally and make sure that your performance is good. But I've been talking to some people. I've talked to a couple people, professionals, talked to a couple of my clients, and that ain't everybody's testimony. Some people are just on the man. I want to do more. I want to close out 2024 strong, but Cameron, I just ain't got it in me. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, and some of y'all can relate to that. And so today, I really wanted to talk to how to maximize that. And I know when I say things like maximize, y'all probably like, oh, here we go with another productivity hack, or here we go with another. No, 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 no. Because what I want you to do is to close out 2024 on a positive note. Because what we don't want is, if 2024 has been a rough year for you, mentally, physically, spiritually, occupationally, whatever your testimony is, then what we don't want is the residue of that to follow you into 2025. And here we are. We're 2 weeks away. Today is December 17th. So literally, we are 2 weeks away from us walking into 2025. And so what I want to do today is really walk you through some tips that can help you to have a good reset for 2025. So today we're going to talk through some tips on how to reset yourself mentally and maybe even physically, so that you can walk into 2025 for feeling rested, feeling refreshed, and re-energized and ready to go for 2025 with whatever that is that looks like for you. If you're trying to get to more money, if you're trying to get to another level occupationally, if you're trying to take your relationship to another level, if you're trying to get to a whole new level of mental wellness and mental clarity, what we want to do, we want to give you the simple tips and trades so that you can achieve that starting in January 1. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Here we are. So the first thing that I need you to do, I'm getting my notes ready. The first thing that I need you to do, I need you to do something that makes you happy. And listen, I know it sounds simple, but here's the reality. When we are professionals, especially those of us in high performing industries like our educations, our finance, y'all know the industries I work with, the finance, the education, the legal, everybody that's a high performing, high stress industry, you don't make a lot of time for fun. I mean, yeah, you might go to a happy hour. Yeah, you might here and there, but you don't really actively pay attention to your happiness level. And the happiness level specifically that is not pertaining to work, that's not associated with work. So I want you to start to think about, you know what are some things that would make me happy over these next 2 weeks? Example, one of the things that makes me and my wife happy is not just enjoying like television, because we watch TV after a long day of work. We talk, we eat dinner and we watch, but specifically for me and her, we like watching relationship shows. We that's just our thing. We like watching these couples on Ultimatum, Love Is Blind. We watched Put a Ring on It. She doesn't like 90 Day Fiance, but we like to watch those type of shows together. And over the course of these next 2 weeks, we're gonna be adding in Christmas films because she loves to find a new or a not so new Christmas movie. So a couple weeks ago, we went to go see Red One. First of all, put in the comments below if you've seen Red One, because it was a phenomenal movie. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe the box office. Don't believe the reason why it's directed on Amazon Prime. Red One was a phenomenal movie, but to my point, that is something that makes us happy. Like that is something over the course of this month that we're going to be doing, because it's just me and her. We don't have any kids right now, but Christmas traditions is something that makes us happy this time of year. So if that's your thing, lean into that. What is a Christmas tradition that maybe you haven't done in a while? What is a Christmas tradition that you like, that you maybe haven't done with your spouse, or maybe you haven't done with your kids yet, that you really, really enjoy? Especially for those of you who maybe are far away from family, like you live X amount of hours away from all your home base. Like, what is something Christmassy that you can do to make yourself happy? Right? So, getting back to those practical things, that's what I want you to do as far as happiness. Another practical thing that you can do for happiness is practicing gratitude. Now, specifically when I say gratitude, I mean really sitting down, takes about 3 to 5 minutes, getting out a sheet of paper and writing about 3 to 5 things that you're thankful for. Or if you don't even want to write them down, you can just sit, put your phone down, put your phone to the side, and just sit and really start to name things that you are grateful for. Because here's the thing, research says that practicing gratitude every day for the period of a month literally boosts your happiness. Like something happens to the brain once we start really focusing on our gratitude and focusing on things like that. So think of what you can do over the next 2 weeks, reflecting on the things that you're grateful for. That thing will take you, that momentum will take you into 2025 on a very, very, very positive note. So you definitely want to add in that gratitude, even if it's at the end of your day or if it's at the beginning of your day. Those things will help you just shift your mindset into a better place. So the last thing that you can do to make yourself happy over the next 2 weeks is connecting with people. Now, I don't mean all people, because here's the thing. I think I saw some things on the interwebs today about how, it's mixed around this time of year, because sometimes the holidays is not the best time of year for us. And it's because of these expectations of, okay, I got to come back home. I got to please my mom. I got to please my dad. I got to listen to them about how, I'm not where I want to be right now, or I got to listen to them about when they want me to give them some grandbabies, or when am I going to this, that, and the third. It's all these expectations and these interactions because we're forced to interact with family who we may not get along with. And that is why for this point, I want you to focus on the people who you actually do want to interact with. Maybe even the people that you didn't get a chance to hang out with this year. Like this year, me and my wife, so her best friend and her husband, we're really good friends now. Like we go on trips together, we do things like that. And I made it a point to reach out to them and say, hey, we want to see y'all on our off days. Like they live in another state for clarification. And so, but it is us making sure it's intentional that we go see them, because it's a different level of don't get me wrong. Of course, I love spending time with my wife, and my wife loves spending time with me. But it's a different level of happiness when you connect with people that you really enjoy. You get what I'm saying? Like a good time is had. So for you, I want you to think about the people who you would have loved to go to dinner with, who you would have loved to call. Like, I want you to start thinking of those people, whether they're your family or whether that's your friends, college roommates, any of that situation. And I want you to think about them, and I want you to give them a call or text them. And I want you really just to have that happiness interaction with them so that you can, boost your happiness. But, and maybe this will set a new precedent going into 2025, saying, hey, man, I know I didn't get a chance to hang out with you this year, but I really want to make sure I do that. Hey, man, okay, what you doing in January? Well, I got a Grizzlies game I'm going to. Say less. Who they playing? All right, bet. We'll go together. Simple things like that, just because you set the precedent to really reach out. And you know what? Maybe the opposite needs to be true as well when it comes to cutting off people. I just had a client today that I met with that they had a really, really, really tough conversation. They've been dealing with somebody who they know that they probably need to separate from, who they need to enforce more boundaries on. And it came to a head today. And it was it had them really shaken up. And I didn't say this to them, but I think it was probably for the better, and it will probably send their 2025 in a very positive direction. Now, obviously, like I said, I didn't tell them that, but I'm telling you that sometimes, you get addition by subtraction. Sometimes you have more added to your life by removing certain people from your life. And so maybe you need to sit down and have okay, Cameron, I thought you weren't going to be hard on us today. Listen, I got to keep it a buck with you. I just want you to add the people that are adding happiness to you and remove the people who have shown you who they are, and they've shown you that, you know what, I'm a parasite. I'm a leech. I'm the thing that's going to suck your happiness away from you. So just happiness. We're talking about happiness, and we're taking that into 2025. That's what I want you really to consider and think about. Okay? Now, the next thing when it comes to resetting ourselves for 2025, and this is essential, I need you to get some rest. Listen. I need you to get some rest. Now, of course, the first layer of this is getting enough sleep. Because let's keep it a buck. Those of us who are high performing professionals, those of us who are grinding, those of us who are doing a lot of things, we we stay up or we wake up early and we're tired. Our brain is just not operating on all cylinders. So for the next 2 weeks, I want you to focus on getting enough sleep. So this is that 7 to 9 hour range. Like I'm noticing I've been kind of functioning at right under 7 hours. So this week I've been really intentional so far, these 2 days. I've been really intentional about making sure that I get my 8 hours. And if I want to get up at a certain time, that means I need to go to sleep at a certain time, because sometimes, I'll stay up and I'll just say, you know what, I'll just sleep in. And then when I do sleep in, I got to rush because I got things that I got to get to. So making sure that you're getting enough rest. So, okay, maybe you are staying up until 3:00 in the morning watching Christmas movies. It's okay to do that one time, but every day? Okay, come on now. Let's get back on track. We trying to go into 2025 on a good note. So how about making sure, hey, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep tonight. So that means I got to cut it off at this time so that I can do this, so that my body is well rested and ready to fall asleep. So that's number one as far as rest. The number two version of rest is digital/mental detox. Can't remember what you mean by that. So what I mean by that is when we are on social media, whether it's TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Lemonade, whatever the new thing that's going to pop up, we are constantly putting something in front of us that we don't really have control over. We have control over it, but we don't have control over the algorithm of what's going to pop up next and what is going to shift our mood, whether one way or another. So what I'm encouraging you to do specifically is to do a detox at different points of the day, points where you literally are not being stimulated by the things that you're watching. So what does this mean that you get to do? So this might mean you need to do something creative. This might mean you need to go work out. This might mean you need to do some things to get your attention that are not triggered by the outside world. You basically are you are stimulating yourself. I know, wait, pause. Let me try to say it a different way. There are different things that you want to do to feed your brain so that you can have in a different mindset, a different mood. You know, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I had to do this as far as podcasts go. So I'm a sucker for a good podcast, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, or maybe even entertaining podcasts. But sometimes I need to detox and I say, you know what? I'm not going to listen to this podcast because the thoughts of the podcasters, of course, will circulate in my mind. And if it's not something that is productive to what I'm trying to do right now, then I have to just unplug from that for a second and really get back to center within myself. Specifically, let's say, for example, you're on this, you know, I'm trying to rest. I'm trying to make sure I'm good. I'm trying to get my health in order. I don't need to be listening to something or watching something on social media or watching something in the movies that's going to contradict that. You get what I'm saying? We have eye gates, we have ear gates, we have our gates for those of you who are Christian. We have those things, so we have to control the food that we consume in that regard. So when I say do a rest from that, that means really taking the time to unplug and say, you know what, let me get back to myself. Okay? Which leads me actually to my next point when we're talking about happiness, when we're talking about rest. The next point is getting your vision ready for 2025. Now, see, the Bible says that without vision, the people perish. And those of you who want 2025 to be so much better than 2024, it's going to take intentional direction. And to go in the correct direction, you got to have a vision of what you want it to look like. Me and my wife, we have what's called board meetings. Shout out to the Mongers who taught us that at a marriage ministry conference. But we've been having meetings to really sit down and look and cast what we want next year to look like, what we want our marriage to look like, and taking the intentional steps to create that, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes when you have a vision, you need to align that vision with your values, with your principles as well, and really see, okay, does these things that I think I want, do they line up with who I am? Do they line up with the version that I want to become? You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. I was having prayer the other morning, and it's so funny. But God dropped something in my spirit that literally stopped me in my tracks. And as I think about it now, I realize one of the things that I have been pursuing, I never took it to Him. I never took it to prayer. And when I was in prayer earlier today, I kind of did bring it to Him. And literally the response, like I said, stopped me in my tracks. And so now my perspective, my energy, the things that I'm planning for 2025 literally has shifted. You get what I'm saying? And so you have to do that for you as far as what do you want from 2025? What principles, what makes you you? What are some things that you need to take to your prayer closet? What are some things that you need to meet with your spouse about? What are things that you need to meet with your kids about? What are the things that will make 2025 a phenomenal year for you? And then based on that, then we can start making steps. Then we can start really strategizing and planning, but not at a speedy pace, because this is the reset period. These 2 weeks are about resetting your mind, resetting your body for that vision. Okay. And then last, certainly not least, I need y'all to get active. Yeah, I need this. I need this to get active. So last week, when we talked about seasonal depression, aka seasonal affective disorder, go back and watch that live on YouTube. We talked about being active and how important it is for us to be active, especially in these cold winters. But keep it a buck with y'all. I did not make 3 workouts last week. I made 2. I did do 2, but I didn't make the 3rd workout. So I'm back on it this week. I got to get my 3 workouts in. But that activity is going to be great for that reset as well, because it's going to generate the endorphins like we talked about last time, but it's also going to stimulate the lymphatic system. Now, those of you who don't know, the lymphatic system is connected and it's responsible for pushing out waste from our body. And the only way that the lymphatic system gets going is through movement or through massages. Now, a good way to get your lymphatic system is through actually your neck, but you can actually stimulate it through physical exercise as well. And it helps to push out waste. Hence why when we are more active or more regular, we're going number 2 versus being stopped up with constipation, or we have, really large bowel movements, or where our mental clarity is out and all that good stuff. So that's what I mean, because the activity of working out, making sure that we are active. And you know what? Not just being physically active, but maybe even doing some somatic movements as well with the mind body connection. So we're talking about yoga, maybe Pilates, building and strengthening our core, doing some somatic movement like the butterfly hug. Those actions and movements are good as well. Making sure that you're stretched, especially if you're at a desk all day or if you're standing on your feet all day, making sure that your feet, your back, your hamstring, your all the things are properly strengthened and stretched is going to, again, help you to be not just active, but also be refreshed going into 2025, starting out on a high note. Again, go back and watch that live if you're interested in that. But here's the thing, guys. If 2024 has been a rough year for you, the only way that 2025 is not going to be a repeat is if you're intentional about it. And so with the things that we've shared in this live, I want you to be intentional about how you move, about how you're resting, about how active you are, about how you're spending your energy, how you're rebuilding your happiness, your energy, the people that you hang around. Being intentional about that is the only way you're going to get the most out of 2025, not just occupationally, but also mentally and physically as well. Okay? Now, if you want some more resources on that, then I guarantee that you guys need to hit the link below that have access to our courses. We got 3 courses down there. We got our mental wellness course that has all the exercises that you need to help build that mind-body connection and give you the resiliency that you need to sustain under the pressure of life and professionalism, right? Then, of course, we have our stress and nutrition course, which is going to give you the nutritional tips that you need to boost everything that you need. So if you need more energy, it's in there. If you need to fight depression from a nutritional standpoint, it's in there. If you need better sleep, it's in there. If you need hormone balance, it's in there. If you need a better sex drive, it's in there. Those things like that. And then, of course, we have our burnout masterclass, which is in there as well to help you be able to learn how to implement boundaries, and really stop the burnout caused by your work to really overtake your life from a physical and mental perspective. Go check out those courses down below. And I will see you guys actually next week, because we're going to try to get back on track with Mondays. I just had to get this live situation straightened out so that, can reach people on both platforms. Okay. All right, guys. Well, y'all be blessed, and y'all have, when I see y'all again, 24. So yeah, hopefully y'all have a great week before Christmas. Don't spend too much time wrapping gifts and stressing out in the malls or wherever you're doing. But I will see you guys next time. Peace.